Happy weekend, everybody. This is Kevin, and you are listening to the 11th installment of the PT Guru Podcast Weekend Edition. And today, I'm going to tell you why you need to just do it.
It's been a long time coming. 6 days a week, 10 hours a shift. What about the OT? Well, it ain't worth this. This ain't no 9 to 5 out here on these production lines. So I told them where to shove it, then they could read between the lines.
All right, so this is the Weekend Podcast, so it's going up on YouTube, among other places, and glad you stopped by. Hope you had a great week. First things first, as you well know, I do a podcast every day during the week, and then on the weekends we do kind of a bigger edition where we get it up here on YouTube as well as just the regular podcasting platforms like iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud and all those fun places. Hey, I'm on Alexa. Ask Alexa to play the PT Gurus podcast, and up I will come. So what did we talk about this week? We talked about several different things. On Monday, we looked at something called the Monty Hall paradox. And this is the idea that if you have 3 choices and then one of the choices is thrown out as being a non-choice after you've made a choice, should you or should you not change your guess? It will surprise you to figure out what the answer is to that. It surprises most people anyway. We talked about on Tuesday metrology in the kitchen, probably the one room in your house where you do more measurements than anything else. So some ideas about some things to do there to make things better. On Wednesday, we talked about different ways to measure current to try to overcome some of the challenges that are associated with measuring amps, and especially in cases where those numbers are very large, where it can be a very challenging thing to do. Then on Thursday, we talked about how to talk to customers. Me, I'm an introvert. Any of you that know me personally know that, and it's been a long road for me to be able to really do this well. So I just figured I'd share some insights from my own experience in how I do it and how I deal with it. And then on Friday, talked about reducing uncertainty. We look at an uncertainty budget. We're kind of making the assumption you already have that. If you don't, you can go over to the website, www.ptguruconsulting.com. You can hover over the About button, go to the Uncertainty Toolkit, and there you can download some templates to build your own uncertainty budgets. But on Friday, what we talked about was taking that budget, being able to identify what the larger contributions are, and potentially look at maybe trying to shrink those things. Look at some ideas, some objectives, some ways we can go about in trying to make those numbers a little bit smaller to produce better measurements. So like I said, stop by the website. Let me know how you're doing. Leave me a note. Drop me a line. Ask a question. I'm here for you. Love hearing from everybody. And then also, if you are listening to the podcast on a daily basis, give me a rating. Give me a like on whatever platform you're doing that on. It helps get the word out. More and more folks can get this information too that are out there in measurement world and are maybe having a struggle or two and could really use some help. It's what I'm here for. So let's get down to your content, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of just personal stuff here today, and I started out by saying, just do it. And I mean that. And in this case, just measure it. See, I'm guilty of this too, having a measurement to do, procrastinating about it, not 100% sure just how to go about it. You get lost in your own head sometimes. And I mean, we calibration folks are a cerebral bunch. We like to overthink things, but that's the problem. You look at it, you start thinking about it before you know it. There you are again, that world of overthinking. And this is a bad place to be. I promise you, it just spirals from there. Because the more you think about it, the more your mind starts to shift, the more you have this doubt. The more the doubts you have, the less likely you are to act, and the less likely you are to even start. In a case like this, the best thing you can do is step back, take a breath, and just start. Do something. Even if it's wrong, just do something. Now, I'm not going to tell you to run out and do something unsafe. No, no unsafe stuff here. Don't go plugging in a 100 kV high pot tester in your bathtub. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when you get that headworms situation going, that you need to just start doing it. What I'm talking about here is cooking a steak. Okay? You take the steak, you put it in the pan, you get one side browned, you flip it over, you put a thermometer in, and you cook it until it's done. Now, maybe you don't have a thermometer. Sorry if you don't, you're never going to cook a good steak. Well, I shouldn't say never. Some people can. But here's the thing. You could also go and spend 3 hours researching and watching YouTube videos and coming and measuring the thickness of your steak, trying to figure out the temperature of your pan, what the internal temperature of your steak is at room temperature, sitting for 20 minutes versus the time it came out of the fridge a half an hour ago. And then you can research on all those websites the proper temperature that you want and how long it's going to take you and how long it should be and how many times you should flip it, and find out that you want precisely 7 minutes on each side, and 3 hours later you're starving and you just decide to go out instead because you're so riddled with uncertainty and doubt about how your steak's going to come out. You could do all that. Or you could put the damn steak in a pan, brown one side, flip it over, put a thermometer in, and cook it till it's ready for your level of doneness. See, that's what happens when we get caught up in this whole overthinking everything. We don't try to start. We're too overwhelmed about all the steps that we're not even at yet. So you got to stop being overwhelmed. Just step up to it and measurement. If it doesn't work, if the technique you're trying is maybe ill-suited for the job, you're going to know it. So guess what? Then you go and try something else. Learn from your mistake. You learned from the measurement method that didn't work. Guess what that means? You get to try again. That's it. You just get to keep trying all over again. So in metrology, it's all about experimentation. That's what the metrology part is. When it's not experimentation, when everything's certain, even with uncertainty, when everything is already figured out, you're just doing calibration. I mean, sure, we don't walk in thinking that we're going to just know it off the cuff and not have a clue what we're doing and just be confused and overwhelmed and all that. Well, yeah, that's okay. I like walking into a situation not knowing exactly what I'm doing. It's okay to me. I like that part. That's fun. I like walking in, not having a clue what I'm going to be dealing with, and getting to figure it out. Because that's what I like to do. I like to use my brain. I like to figure things out. That's how I have a great day. I hate doing the same things over and over again. It's not me. It's not how I function. So when you do metrology, there is this tendency to get stuck. You get stuck in the rules, you get stuck in the methods, and you forget to think for yourself. And when you get to this point, you're not doing metrology anymore. You're just a machine. I don't want to be a machine. I like being a scientist. That's what I like to do. So I love the moment when I see something I've never done before, or something I have done before, and then I have that realization that, why am I doing this way? And then it clicks in your head and you've come up with that better way. And I'm not always right. You're not always going to be right when you have that thought. It's going to come up and you're going to be like, yeah, I could do, and then you try it and, oh, that's why I didn't do it that way. And that's okay. But give it a shot. Just try. What do you got to lose? A few minutes of time. That's it. Everybody asks the question, so what if I fail? What if I screw up? What if this doesn't work? It's okay. So what? You tried. Move on. Try something else. Maybe it will work. Thomas Edison had over 6,000 different material prototypes that he used before he came up with the right one to make a light bulb that actually worked and didn't burn out near instantaneously. At that point, it's not failure. It's simply one step closer to knowing the right answer because you found one of the wrong answers. You know what doesn't work. Lucky for you, you're probably not going to have to do 6,000 1,000 experiments to get there. So stop making excuses. Stop trying to say, I'm going to try. Stop saying, I'm going to try. Stop coming up with reasons why you can't. Just stop. Look at the situation and start. I bet you if you look at it for a minute, you're going to find that first step. Plug it in. Turn it on. Hey, that's a step. Just do something. It's a start. Take that first step. The second one is going to come right after that. Just like an infant learning to walk, don't overthink it. Head up, eyes on the cookie that your mommy's holding. Head right for it, and you're going to get there. You just need to start. Just start. Thanks. I'm Kevin. Drop by the website, www.ptguruconsulting.com. Let me know how you're doing. I hope you're having a really, really great weekend. And I'm going to talk to you again on Monday. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching.